Hey, I'm here with Randy Roper from Randy Roper Interiors. And Randy, I'm so excited to have you here cooking today. What people don't really realize is Randy's been decorating homes for over 30 years in Huntsville, and I made some of the most beautiful homes in Huntsville, but they don't really know what kind of cook he is, and he is fabulous.
We'll see.
And I can't wait. You're going to do what, pork tenderloin?
We'll do a pork tenderloin with a raspberry pork reduction sauce, Venetian spinach, and just follow the process.
Okay, so already do you know he can cook? I mean, just listen to him. But anyway, the thing about there are cooks that really enjoy cooking, and then there are cooks that actually just create a work of art. And this is what Randy does, I can tell you. This is your creative side coming out, so you're going to see how beautiful this is in a second. But let's get going with the pork, and tell me what we're going to do here.
Well, first thing, I marinated the pork overnight in a sort of a teriyaki sauce that's made of soy sauce, pineapple juice, a little bit of roasted garlic puree, which I like more than just crushed garlic because then it infuses through the whole sauce and just kind of goes everything. A touch of ginger and a touch of pepper, and that's it.
That's it?
I pre-slice the pork tenderloins in the oven. Pre-slice them and then marinate them in a disposable bag. After you remove them from the marinade, discard your liquid, and then take each medallion that you've done, and I promise I will wash my hands after this. You take the palm of your hand and flatten them.
Really? I love that. Kind of like pounding chicken breast, sort of the same thing.
But your palm of your hand will do it just fine. And
I love it.
You add the pork to a dry skillet because there's enough liquid that's been infused into the pork that it will start casting off a liquid.
Oh, that is great.
Takes about 3 minutes per side. Then after it's done, you remove it and just set it aside to keep it warm.
So do you use, is that for it like kind of rare or medium rare?
It's kind of medium. I don't like rare pork.
Okay, so it's kind of medium. All right, so you prefer doing this rather than cooking the whole tenderloin?
Because then the flavor infuses through the entire part of the meat instead
makes
of the
sense.
part of it.
That makes sense. I love it.
You use like a half a cup of soy sauce and a cup of pineapple juice, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I forgot to tell you that, and then just a pinch of ginger and pepper.
Sounds great.
That's it.
Oh, and it really takes about 3 minutes on each side here.
And while we're doing that, I'm going to start the sauce by placing onions.
Do you want me to turn this on?
Please.
Are we ready?
Diced green onion and port wine. You let that simmer until the wine is almost gone.
Okay.
About disappears.
Okay.
You can hear the pork cooking.
And that, like you said, that cooks so fast. And you know, that's really so much. I mean, you know, you can have that done in what, 6 minutes almost. So
your work's already ahead of the deal because you've already got it prepared.
You know, it's so
really
funny. We were cooking fish earlier, and you know, the one thing when you're doing something that's so quickly like this, you've got to have everything else ready.
Exactly.
You know, when this is done.
And one great thing about this, if you want to, you can cook it not totally done, so that way if you're not ready to serve, it can go in the oven on 250 and keep for like 30 minutes while you're preparing everything else.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, so
now the onions will start boiling.
Okay.
And reduce that.
Are we ready to
Yeah, and in the meantime, we're going to do also Venetian spinach, which the ingredients for it are easy. It's washed spinach leaves, pine nuts, and raisins that I've rehydrated in white wine overnight.
Oh my gosh.
And so, one thing, it is so easy to overcook spinach.
Right.
And so my little trick I use is instead of dropping my spinach in boiling water or sauteing it straight in the pan, I place it in a colander and then just pour boiling water over the spinach.
Oh, I love it.
And it wilts it right down.
Oh, that's great.
And
you're right. You're right. You can't overcook spinach.
And to the spinach, all right, believe it or not, these
are done. Yes, absolutely. Let me turn it. Okay. All right. Look at that. Are we going to continue here with the sauce, or should we take a break, Randy, and come right back, or is it ready to go?
It's ready to go, actually.
Okay.
Now in the sauce, you've let your onions simmer in the port wine, and then you just turn it off.
Okay.
Then to this, I add the garlic puree, a little bit, about a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, ketchup.
Do you really? It's giving that acid.
And turn it up just a little bit.
Okay.
Horseradish. And then raspberry preserves. And when you're serving this, a little bit of this
let me
goes a
start.
long way. And then I put whole raspberries, and they will cook and pop.
Oh my gosh, Randy, this smells fabulous. You know what I'm smelling? I love the vinegar. Oh my gosh.
And then just let them simmer until the raspberries kind of disappear. If you want a smoother sauce, you can run the end product through a fine mesh sieve, or I prefer it whole where you can see the
I
seeds in
love
it.
it like this. I
that
think
was
this is
the
great.
easy
So this is ready?
Yep, it'll just cook down now.
Okay. So just leave that on.
Now for the spinach, we will do olive oil with garlic. You know, you have to be very careful not to burn your garlic. And if you keep it moving, it won't do that. Don't ever let it just sit. For the drain,
Oh, those raisins. Randy, I bet those are fabulous in the wine. You might have to dump that. You got it?
Got it. And it adds just that little bit of flavor.
I love it. You want me to turn this down?
Yeah, that'll be great. All right. Once your garlic just starts turning a little bit brown, and you can see the oil begin to smoke just a little bit, that's good right there.
There you go. So it's already pretty much.
Then we will add just the blanched spinach. And I like to use two forks to keep it moving.
Do you want me to turn it down a little bit?
Yeah, please.
And just don't overcook it.
And this is another one that if you're going to wait to serve it, only do it about halfway. All right?
Turn it off?
Basically now, yep. And I'm going to move it. And remember, this will continue to cook.
Yeah, yeah. Let me move this. Maybe I can get this out of your way. That is great.
And then to this, you add your already toasted pine nuts.
Do you toast those on the stove or do you put
No,
them in the
I do
oven?
mine in the oven.
Do you?
And the way I do them is I put them in a cold oven, set my temperature to 350, and when the oven heats, when it hits 350, they're usually done. And stir
I know.
them
I was
along
like,
the
oh my
way.
gosh, I've burned so many pine nuts. I mean,
And
it's
then-
only like
and
2
then-
seconds.
And then add the raisins.
That is great.
And with this menu, which I've done, hate to tell you, a million times, for dinner parties, I serve as a starch a creamy polenta or a white cheddar cheese grits. And then you've got a full menu.
How great is that? I love that. That is wonderful.
And then our sauce is
it ready?
about done. Yeah. When you can mash the berries with a spoon, it's done.
It's done.
And then you
So
set
those are
it
done.
off to the side, and it'll thicken up.
Okay.
And just mash your berries, the whole
All
ones
right.
that you placed in there.
So we'll come back and take a look at all this. Is it
Sounds
all done?
good. It's all done.
All right, great. Stay with us. We'll be right back.